What is happening, crypto fam, and welcome back to Bitcoin Bulletin, where we bring you the most electrifying updates from the digital asset universe. Get ready, because the pace of innovation and market movement is absolutely breakneck, and today, you're going to hear about developments that could redefine the entire landscape. We've got massive institutional plays, intriguing market signals, and a deep dive into the forces shaping our favorite asset. You do not want to miss a single second of this. It's all happening right now, and we're breaking it all down for you. Stay locked in, because this is the Bitcoin Bulletin. First up, we're diving deep into Metaplanet's monumental achievement. This Japanese firm has just shattered expectations, pushing its Bitcoin holdings past a staggering 20,000 BTC with a colossal $112 million acquisition. We're talking about a company that's making Bitcoin its core treasury asset, a move that's turning heads and sparking intense debate. How are they pulling this off? What does this mean for their stock? And is this the blueprint for future corporate adoption? We've got all the angles covered. Next, we're turning our attention to the charts and the big picture economic forecasts. Is Bitcoin poised for its next major surge, or are there hidden signals suggesting a peak is already in play? We're dissecting the technical divergences, digging into historical patterns, and even bringing in Peter Schiff's gold-driven macro outlook to give you a comprehensive view of what might be on the horizon. Get ready for some serious market analysis. Finally, we're looking at the quiet takeover happening right under our noses. Institutions and retail investors alike are fueling Bitcoin's ascent, with massive accumulation happening across the board. What does this synchronized buying mean for the future, and what regulatory clarity is paving the way for this widespread adoption? We'll break down the data, analyze the trends, and tell you what you need to know. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for all the latest, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's go. A bold new billion-dollar player emerges. In a move that solidifies its aggressive stance on digital assets, Japanese firm Metaplanet has officially crossed a monumental threshold, accumulating a staggering 20,000 Bitcoin. This significant milestone was achieved following a substantial $112 million acquisition, bringing the company's total BTC holdings to an impressive figure. This isn't just a casual investment. Metaplanet has strategically pivoted, making Bitcoin a cornerstone of its treasury operations, a bold declaration in the traditionally conservative Japanese corporate landscape. The company's journey into becoming a major Bitcoin holder began in earnest in December 2024, when it officially declared Bitcoin treasury operations as its core business. Since then, the pace of accumulation has been remarkable, with holdings growing from just over 13,000 BTC in June to the current 20,000 BTC by September. To fuel this expansion, Metaplanet has employed a multi-pronged financial strategy, including securing a significant credit line and issuing new shares. These maneuvers have not only allowed the company to manage its existing debt, but also to aggressively grow its Bitcoin reserves. Currently, Metaplanet's Bitcoin holdings are valued at over Yen 302 billion, approximately $2.14 billion USD, with an average acquisition cost of $15.1 million, or about $102,800 per coin. To gauge its success, Metaplanet utilizes internal metrics like BTC yield, which measures Bitcoin holdings against fully diluted shares, reaching 30.7% for the quarter ending September 1st. The company emphasizes a long-term accumulation strategy, focusing on these internal metrics rather than short-term price fluctuations. However, this aggressive pivot has not been without market jitters. The announcement of the latest purchase triggered a notable 5.46% dip in Metaplanet's stock price, reflecting investor apprehension regarding the company's concentrated exposure to Bitcoin's inherent volatility. While Bitcoin enthusiasts laud the strategic vision, traditional investors remain cautious. Despite this market reaction, Metaplanet now positions itself among the top global public Bitcoin holders, drawing comparisons to industry giants like MicroStrategy. Adding another layer of intrigue, Eric Trump has joined Metaplanet in an advisory capacity, further amplifying international attention and signaling a growing engagement from the Trump family within the digital asset space. This ambitious strategy particularly within Japan's financial environment, positions Metaplanet as a significant, albeit debated, player in the global corporate Bitcoin adoption narrative. But is this bold strategy enough to weather the storm, or are there deeper market currents at play? We're about to find out as we pivot to the critical question: has Bitcoin already hit its peak? Has Bitcoin already peaked? The technical tussle and macro debate. The cryptocurrency market is buzzing with activity, but a crucial question looms large. Has Bitcoin already reached its zenith, or is this just a pause before another explosive rally? Recent technical indicators have painted a mixed picture, with a fresh golden cross appearing on Bitcoin's weekly chart, sparking optimism for a powerful upward trend. This formation, where a shorter-term moving average crosses above a longer-term one, is often seen as a bullish signal, suggesting that momentum is building for a sustained rally. Analysts are drawing parallels to the 2017 bull run, with some suggesting that the typically anticipated September dump might not materialize this year, given the current market dynamics. Bitcoin's underlying fundamentals are also showing strength, with on-chain data indicating a healthy backdrop despite recent price consolidation. This suggests that the digital asset is building a solid foundation for future growth, absorbing available supply and setting the stage for potential price appreciation. However, not everyone is convinced. Skeptics point to potential technical divergences and the inherent volatility of the cryptocurrency market as reasons for caution. Into this debate steps Peter Schiff, a prominent advocate for gold and a vocal critic of Bitcoin. Schiff's macro outlook, firmly rooted in traditional finance and precious metals, often contrasts sharply with the digital asset narrative. His perspective typically emphasizes Bitcoin's speculative nature and its potential for sharp downturns, often contrasting it with the perceived stability and historical value of gold. Schiff's arguments usually center on macroeconomic factors, inflation hedges, and the role of sound money, often framing Bitcoin as a risky bet compared to gold's time-tested reliability. Evaluating his perspective alongside the technical analysis provides a critical counterpoint, highlighting the diverse opinions and analytical frameworks used to assess Bitcoin's future trajectory. The ongoing discussion revolves around whether Bitcoin's current price action is sustainable, supported by genuine adoption and technological advancement, or if it's merely a temporary upswing before a significant correction. The interplay between technical signals, historical patterns, and contrasting macroeconomic viewpoints creates a complex narrative, leaving investors to weigh the potential for unprecedented gains against the risks of a market downturn. Understanding these different perspectives is key to navigating the often turbulent waters of the cryptocurrency market. But while some are looking at charts and economic forecasts, others are witnessing a fundamental shift in how finance operates. Get ready for the story of Bitcoin's quiet takeover, fueled by the masses. Metaplanet surges past 20,000 BTC threshold. In a significant development for corporate Bitcoin adoption, Japanese investment firm Metaplanet has bolstered its digital asset reserves by acquiring an additional 1,009 Bitcoin on September 1, 2025. This strategic purchase, executed at an average price of $111,720 per BTC, represents an investment of approximately $111 million. With this latest transaction, Metaplanet's total Bitcoin holdings have now reached an impressive 20,000 BTC, positioning it as one of the largest corporate holders of the cryptocurrency on a global scale. The firm's aggregate cost basis for these holdings is estimated to be around $2.06 billion. This move is a clear continuation of Metaplanet's overarching strategy to establish itself as Japan's answer to MicroStrategy, a company renowned for its significant Bitcoin treasury. Metaplanet has been methodically expanding its Bitcoin reserves by leveraging capital markets, utilizing strategies such as share issuances and treasury management since officially integrating Bitcoin into its balance sheet policy in December 2024. The company's primary objective is long-term accumulation, aiming to harness Bitcoin's potential as a strategic hedge against inflation and currency volatility. Reaching the symbolic 20,000 BTC milestone underscores Metaplanet's unwavering commitment to embedding Bitcoin deeply within its corporate structure and financial operations. As global institutional adoption of Bitcoin continues to accelerate, Metaplanet's aggressive and strategic approach could very well serve as a pioneering model for other publicly traded companies, particularly within the Asian market. This sustained accumulation signals a strong conviction in Bitcoin as a store of value and a key component of future financial strategy for the firm. But this corporate accumulation is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. We're now diving into the widespread adoption that's quietly reshaping the entire financial world. Bitcoin's stealthy financial revolution. Institutions and retailers unite. Bitcoin has surged past the $109,000 mark, propelled by a powerful wave of accumulation from both institutional players and everyday retail investors. This significant uptick signals a quiet but profound takeover of traditional finance, as Bitcoin increasingly becomes a strategic reserve asset. In just July and August of 2025, a remarkable 28 new treasury firms entered the market, collectively adding over 140,000 BTC to their holdings. This influx of corporate capital is staggering, nearly matching the total annual Bitcoin mining output of approximately 164,000 BTC. This intense institutional demand is fundamentally altering market dynamics, absorbing demand at a rate that far outstrips new supply. Analysts like Andrei Dragosh from Bitwise confirm this trend, noting that institutional demand is now more than 6 times the rate of new Bitcoin supply. By the end of August 2025, institutions had acquired over 690,000 BTC, dwarfing the roughly 109,000 BTC mined during the same period. This imbalance suggests a new paradigm where corporate appetite, rather than post-halving supply shocks, is becoming the primary driver of price action. The accumulation isn't limited to large firms. Retail investors are also participating at unprecedented levels. Data shows that across all wallet sizes, from small retail holdings to massive whale accounts, the rate of Bitcoin acquisition has reached its highest point since April 2025. This synchronized buying across diverse investor segments is a historically strong indicator, often preceding major price rallies. Market participants are reportedly stacking relentlessly, signaling robust confidence and a desire to secure positions. Technically, Bitcoin has been consolidating around the $108,700 to $109,500 range, with key resistance identified at $110,500. Institutional activity has been particularly notable at critical price levels, with significant volume spikes observed during periods of buying pressure. While the market awaits a decisive break above $110,500, the underlying data points towards increasing upward momentum. The broader market sentiment is also bolstered by regulatory developments, such as the proposed U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and legislative acts like the Clarity and Genius Acts, which are enhancing Bitcoin's legitimacy as a strategic asset. This growing acceptance, coupled with a hedging narrative against fiat currency devaluation, is encouraging a long-term view among investors. The confluence of strong demand, synchronized accumulation, and supportive regulatory and macro factors positions Bitcoin for continued growth, with analysts closely watching key resistance levels for signs of the next major breakout. And that's just scratching the surface of the massive shifts happening in the crypto world. But before we wrap up, let's hit you with a rapid-fire recap of today's biggest stories. And that's a wrap for today's Bitcoin Bulletin. We saw Metaplanet hit a massive 20,000 BTC milestone, analyze the crucial technicals and macro outlooks that could signal Bitcoin's next move, and uncovered the widespread institutional and retail accumulation fueling its quiet financial takeover. Don't miss out on any of the action. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, and follow us on all our social channels for even more real-time updates. We'll see you in the next one.